Welcome. We would talk about some of the questions from Indian logic as requested yesterday. So, our focus today would be understanding mainly the fallacies and some of the interesting questions from fallacies in Indian logic. Now, before we begin, one very important thing. When we talk about logic, we had two parallel logic flows. One is the Western logic, the other is the Indian logic. The Western logic propounded by Aristotle and his disciplines, and the Indian logic which came parallel to that era. Now, what is called as fallacy in Western logic is Hetwabhasa in Indian logic. The idea is both of them represent inconsistency. When I say I am not able to walk on a road because I have a leg injury, but on the other end I say that I am running. So there is a fallacy. If I am not able to walk, how can I run? So this is a kind of fallacy. Now these fallacies could be of various types. In this section, we would understand how to solve questions related to fallacies. So some of the questions that we have taken from our website Doorstep Tutor, where you have most of the past paper solutions are here. So let's begin. In case you are able to answer the questions, you can just write those in the comment section as we proceed. So the first question says an irrational argument which is reasoning, in which reasoning appears to be valid but is unfounded. I don't have a solid basis for it. Is what? Now, as I said, on one end I'm saying that I'm having a leg injury because I fell down. So the reasoning appears to be valid. But at the other end, I'm saying that I'm able to run. So there is a difference, or I could say the inconsistency that appears in the thought process. And this is what is called as Hetwabhasa. So Hetwabhasa becomes the right option here. I hope this question gets clear. Okay. The next question here is, when fallacy is because of irregular hetu, it is called as. Now, hetu vyapti, we have already covered in our previous classes. So, if you are already part of the complete course, you can check it out there. Otherwise, a gist of what is hetu is also covered in one of the videos on YouTube. So, when there is a irregular hetu, we call it as savyabhichar. Vyabhichar means inconsistency. Savyabhichar means irregular hetu and inconsistent hetu, and therefore D becomes the right option. This is a very interesting question. In this question, what we are trying to do is, we understand three terms: Viruddha, Sat Pratipaksh and Badita. Viruddha, as the name suggests, is contradiction. So contradiction with a middle term. For example, I say sound is eternal, but at the same time, I say sound is produced. Now, a thing which is eternal, I say God is eternal, but then we cannot say God is produced. When I say sound is eternal, that means it has been there from generations. However, when I say sound is produced, that means it has been created by someone. Hedi, from our side, the visibility is perfect. In case you are having visibility issues, you can just switch the resolution to 720p and change your settings to 720p, and you'll see probably a better quality output. You can also have auto mode on, and that would improve the visibility. I hope that's clear. Okay. So Viruddha is contradictory. So when I say sound is eternal and sound is produced, that's the difference that we understand here. The next is Sat Pratipaksh. Sat Pratipaksh means the middle term is contradicted by another middle term. What does that mean? On one end, I say sound is eternal, and since sound is eternal, it is because it is audible. Why sound is eternal? Because it is audible. But at the other end, I say sound is eternal because it is produced. So in the second one, when the middle term is contradicted by another middle term, and therefore this second middle term is contradicting, and this is what is known as Sat Pratipaksh. Badita occurs when the middle term is contradicted by other praman. What does that mean? When I say ice is hot, so ice in itself is not hot, but I say ice is hot because it's a substance. So ice is definitely a substance, but it is hot, that does not imply it is a substance, and this is a contradiction. So when the contradiction in the middle term is because of some other reason or some other inference that I am trying to make, we call this as badita. So three important terms that we have gone here. I hope that's clear. This is an extremely important question. The type of fallacies, right? Now this fallacy says a mouse is an animal. A large mouse is a large animal. Now this is obviously a fallacy. I cannot say a small mouse is a small animal or a large mouse is a large animal. Okay, when I'm saying large animal, it could be a large group of animals, it could be a large animal like a dinosaur, an elephant. So there are various meanings that I connote to this word large. What are the common meaning? One is a size which is big. Okay, and the second one I'm trying to convey here is in context to the total population. So of the total population of animals, I say the population of mouse is large. Okay, that means let's say this many are the total animals and this whole proportion is mouse. So that's in that reference it is again large. Clear? So here we have two meanings associated to the large, and when we have two meanings associated to large, it is in simple terms equivocation. I take another example. I ask you, whom do you met on the roadside? You say nobody. Now what is this nobody? Nobody means no one was present, or nobody could be a name of someone. So it could be no one who was there or a name of a person who was there, and therefore it has two meanings which are hidden, and this kind of fallacies are called as equivocation fallacies. I hope that makes it clear. Great, Mukti, Lekha. Yes, so those are some of the questions that we have covered. This was from one of the previous papers that we have taken. So more similar questions from previous papers and other important questions have been covered in the database. There are more than 5,000 plus questions to practice, but yes, both of them, it's very important for all of you to understand that identify what are your weak areas. Closer to the examination, the best thing you can do is practice more the questions from your weak areas, and that way you can strengthen your concepts and get a good marks and a good percentage in the section where you are actually lacking. So that was for today. We are coming up with expected questions from environment. This would be covered in two parts. So it would be live at our regular schedule of 7:30 in the evening. So stay tuned with the updates that we are coming with. Extremely important expected question on education for 2023 we have already covered. We are coming up with environment in two parts. Extremely important topics which would be covered. Don't miss those for paper one. Thanks for joining in.